Hey everyone, you know who it is! It's Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. We have begun a new month, and what that means is I want to make sure to remind all of you of the records that dropped over this past month that I thought were really good. They're linked down below, the reviews for them and other stuff. So, just check them out if any of these have slipped through the cracks for you. All right, here we go. 1, the new Porter Robinson record, Nurture. This is a beautiful piece of, God, so many things. It's like electropop, it's glitchy pop, it's got some aspects of EDM to it too. Porter has really matured aesthetically and songwriting wise on this record. It's a very emotional experience too on the lyrical side, with him talking about just existentialism, finding joy, and I guess justification in living his life as an artist, as a musician. Starts to take on a lot of vocal duties too as well on this one. There are a lot of very gauzy and beautiful layers of sound on this record too. It's a very catchy, somewhat shoegazy as well, and very danceable. I've said in my review, and I will say this again, I feel like in many ways this record is the discovery of this generation, and I hope that ends up panning out to be the case, at least from the perspective of other music fans out there, because it really is a beautiful, holistic kind of record, and check it out. Listen to it. It's quite good. Want to give a shout out to Jeff Rosenstock for dropping a ska version of his record No Dream, and God, is it great. It is a great ska punk record with some vibes of dub and second wave ska as well, not just like modern ska punk type stuff. He really does rewrite this record from the ground up and redoes it in a ska style very well and very tastefully, though that's not entirely surprising considering how much ska he's created in the past. But man, he is going hard on this genre, bringing it back with a vengeance on this LP, and in my opinion, the album is every bit as good, if not a little better, for this change. So yeah, if you want to listen to one of the best rock and punk records of the past few years, but redone in a ska sound, ska style, give it a listen. Next, of course, I want to give a shout out to the new Brockhampton album, Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine. I think the boys are back on this one with some great production, great features, a lot of slappers, but some incredible emotional moments as well. I think the band really started to hone in on delivering some more introspective type tracks on Ginger, and they've only gotten better at that here. In many ways, I see this record as what Iridescence could have or should have been in terms of just energy and color and vibrance. But now I think, given everything the band's gone through over the past few years, we get more emotional nuance on this LP than I think Iridescence would have had if it were released under the most ideal conditions. Next, I want to shout out the new Pharoah Sanders, Floating Points, and London Symphony Orchestra album over here. This is a gorgeous, mesmerizing, layered, multi-phased new jazz piece laced with electronics and, of course, a classical twist in there too with the London Symphony Orchestra tie-in. Look, I'm not going to dress it up. This is one of the most beautiful things I've heard this year, and it is quite possibly my favorite record of the year so far. So, geez, it's just so pretty to listen to and just so enthralling between the keys and Sanders' sax solos and the way the classical instrumentation ties in at various points. Just give it a listen. It's gorgeous. You absolutely will not regret it. And honestly, I don't even really think you need to be like a huge jazz head to appreciate what exactly is going on here too. So don't listen to any of those genre markers I gave the record and think, oh, well, I'm not that into electronic music. I'm not that into jazz. I'm not that into classical music. I couldn't possibly be into this. No, believe me, it's not a super tough or challenging listen or anything like that. Everything about the record that is gorgeous and entrancing is very clear and very apparent. I think that many people, if they really kind of give this album the attention and the chance, it will wow them or, sort of charm them at least to some degree. Finally, I'd like to give a shout out to this new Armond Hammer record with the Alchemist doing production on the whole thing. And together they forge one of Armond Hammer's most surreal and I think abstract records, which is pretty cool. Elucid and Billy Woods on their shit lyrically, as they typically are. And yeah, I just think the Alchemist production here pushes things into darker and I guess more impressionistic realms, which is a quality many Armond Hammer releases have had up until this point. It's just cool to hear that enhanced to the degree that it is over here. So give this a listen too. Give this a listen as well. Again, all the releases I talked about here listed down below. If you have not heard any of them, give them the time, give them the attention, and yeah, you're the best. Transition. Have you given these albums a listen? If you haven't, please do. Anthony Fantano, music, love music, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to our Fantano channel, subscribe to our Twitch, follow me on social medias like Twitter and TikTok and stuff forever.